I told them to set me up with that welder look. I think they did a pretty good job. Well, actually, I found a sale on sunglasses. 50% off, so, gonna see a lot of new shades coming about, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome back. Today was supposed to be Grandmaster Gamer podcast, and unfortunately, due to technical errors in recording, my guest's audio wasn't recorded, even though it was synced and supposed to be recording at the same time with mine. I don't know what happened with the program, but I did attune the audio so that it sounds 10 times better, and unfortunately, I don't know what happened with the audio. It's just one of those things, sometimes it happens, and it's really unfortunate. So I'm going to go ahead and try and shoot for next week to try and get another one out. But yeah, in any event, I did say I was going to cover this news story in its own video, so keeping my word is important to you, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be talking about... Every time I look at this title, I'm just like, God, are you serious? Nintendo owned 2017, and all it took was a series of bad mistakes. Whew. Wow. Why play by someone else's rules is the tagline. This was written by Ben Kuchera. What is this? What is this? Polygon? Wait a minute, it is! Haha, I almost got you there. You almost thought for a second that it wasn't Polygon. Nope, it is Polygon. Shocker. Ladies and gentlemen, when I first saw this come up on Twitter, I literally said the same thing. What is this, Polygon? And yeah, I took a closer look. Yeah, it is Polygon. Shocker. So, basically, the groundwork and the argument here is that Nintendo is doing good because of a series of mistakes. Now, that is what's said. So, keep in mind, at the end of this video, it is going to go in favor of Nintendo. But it's interesting to me that when Nintendo does good, people still manage to crap all over them. So, when Nintendo does bad, people crap all over them. When Nintendo does good, people crap all over them. It's just like, you know, can you never please people? No, you can't, especially people who ride over at Polygon. So, let's get into this. Aside from a little prefaced information talking about Nintendo's bizarre tactics that would have never worked for Microsoft and Sony, which I completely agree with, this does go into depth about why he feels the way he feels. So, number one bullet point would be discontinued its most popular product, alluding to the NES Classic Edition, which is a complete and total lie because guess what? Guess what? In a later paragraph, do you know what they say? Do you know what they bring up? They bring up the fact that Nintendo is going to be continuing production and bringing back production in 2018. So, they didn't discontinue the product. They shelved it because they had to focus factory assets on producing the Nintendo Switch, which is their comment, which is what they said. And the SNES Classic has been released as well. And they've said because of the immense popularity of these consoles that they will be bringing them back and continuing them all the way into 2018. So no, they didn't discontinue it. Discontinuing a product means you're not really going to be bringing it back. I mean, maybe some people would say, okay, you can discontinue a product and then start it back up again, but I'm really not feeling that vibe from this headline. I don't have Ben Kuchera in front of me. I can't ask him personally, but I'm going off of the writing here, and that's what I am getting from this implied headline here. So, its most popular product. Its most popular product. Did you forget about the Nintendo 3DS? Which is still in production, albeit being discontinued, but that's not what you're writing about here. If you had said the Nintendo 3DS, I would have been like, yeah, you're absolutely right, man. But how would that relate to their success? Maybe you could have said they're discontinuing the Nintendo 3DS and replacing it with the Nintendo Switch, which is a really good idea because the Nintendo 3DS is almost 7 years old. But the Nintendo 3DS is up there in sales-wise with things like the PlayStation 4. And the DS is up there with the legendary PlayStation 2. So Nintendo's been very well at selling their portable, mobile, handheld consoles. Sold unfinished consoles, you say. Unfinished. What is this? The Virtual Boy? Are we talking about the Virtual Boy, fam? Red and black are the two colors you got. You're getting headaches? You're going blind? We don't care. We're putting this out because it's important. Gee, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2017. Why aren't Nintendo doing a virtual reality headset? Oh, yeah. I forgot. Anyways, no, it's not the Virtual Boy. They're talking about the Nintendo Switch of all things. Not the Wii U. Believe it or not. Not the Wii U. Not the Virtual Boy. What? The Nintendo Switch? What? The best-selling hardware since the frickin' Nintendo Wii? What? Yes. Yes. The Nintendo Switch. And they're arguing that because support for things like online, like in the way of Xbox Live, PlayStation 4, and Steam, aren't available or up to snuff to compete with competition. They're arguing that it doesn't have streaming services, that it took around 6 months to get the first streaming service apps being put on it, that it is an unfinished console. No. Video game consoles are meant to play video games, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't until the more recent years. Even with the original Xbox 360, it wasn't made to play other applications. That came out later. The Nintendo Switch is not advertised to be a product to be purchased to stream Netflix, YouTube, Crunchyroll, Hulu, whatever application you want that is third party. The Nintendo Switch is advertised to play Nintendo games and third-party games developed for it, and that's it. Look at the box. It'll tell you it might be able to support these things later on, and Nintendo have talked about it later on, saying, you know, when these applications update and they come through and they allow for compatibility with the Nintendo Switch, we'll allow it to happen. But as of launch, they aren't there. Nintendo launched with one of the best games, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and have had support throughout the year. Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8, ARMS even, believe it or not. But still, it's something. It's something that the Wii U didn't have. It's something that a lot of their consoles lacked, and this is a really strong console. And to say that it's unfinished, you're out of your mind. It has Mario Odyssey on it now, arguably one of the best games ever created, and Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey both were contenders for Game of the Year. Unfinished though, ladies and gentlemen. The Nintendo Switch is not finished. It's lacking something. It's lacking that. Oh my god. Woo! Focused on a single game during E3. Oh, what was that? The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? And then this year it was Mario Odyssey? Why would Nintendo focus on their flagship games? I really wonder why Nintendo would do that. Like, do I really have to explain why a first-party company that develops games and developed a console is focusing on the games that it developed? Do I really have to go into that? What other games are out right now for the Nintendo Switch that literally just came out? Skyrim, Doom, Super Mario Odyssey, and somehow, because they only focus on Super Mario Odyssey during E3, this was a bad thing. Are you serious? Completely cannibalized its most popular product, which is essentially talking about how the Nintendo Switch is taking over the Nintendo 3DS's line. Excuse me, Ben Kuchera, writer of Polygon, who has a lot of knowledge about video games. Excuse me, sir, did you not remember when the Nintendo 3DS came out? Oh my god, it's almost 7 years old! It is definitely ending. There's no questioning that, because the last Pokemon game was going to be the Ultra Sun and Moon series on the 3DS. So it's done. Of course, it's going to be ending. But come on, man. Come on, dude. Are you serious right now? So what do you want them to develop? The Nintendo 4DS? The Nintendo 1DS? Like, what would the next handheld console be? Like, would it be a downgraded version of the Nintendo Switch? It's very clearly Nintendo want the Nintendo Switch to move into the spot of the handheld console, because they're also going into the smartphone market field, where they're talking about developing a lot more games for smartphones. Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, they have Pokemon Go, they have Mario Run, and these games are all associated with Nintendo, so why would they sit there and make another mobile handheld to compete with themselves? That's silly. That's silly. They returned to one of its biggest failures, the Wii U, talking about how they're porting over Wii U games, but then also the way that the Nintendo Switch is designed, in that it is a tablet. But the Nintendo Switch is almost completely different to a T. The similarities end where it is a pad with, you know, joysticks on the side of it. That it is a game console, but it's also a tablet. Okay, the similarities end there, because yes, that is plugged into the TV, but that goes with a paired console for the Wii U. The Nintendo Switch doesn't need that. It just needs a little dock. That's it. And you can take the Nintendo Switch everywhere you want to go. It's essentially an upgraded version of a Nintendo 3DS. And guess what? With the Wii U, you go to the top floor of your house, you're on the first floor, you go to the third floor, signal lost, you're not going to be able to use it. With the Nintendo Switch, that's not a problem. What the heck, man? What are you talking about? Who cares if they ported over games? Because that comes into the next point. Sold Mario Kart 8 again. Who cares? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of the absolute best Mario Kart versions you can buy. Look, I would like new Nintendo games as much as the next guy. Breath of the Wild, thumbs up. Mario Odyssey, thumbs up. Splatoon 2, thumbs up. You're not porting old Wii U games. But there are plenty of Wii U games people didn't play because they didn't want a Wii U, man. This is probably one of the best moves Nintendo has done, and the only way that they can do it. And Mario Kart 8 was amazing. It is perfect on the Switch, man. There is very little you can complain about. It gives you all the DLC packs. It's worth every penny. But, you know, why are you bringing this up as a point of mistakes, failures on Nintendo's part? What the heck, man? And then they released a game based on the pitch, What If Punch-Out, but with springing arms. And this whole segment that he goes into, he doesn't even go into an argumentative point about if ARMS was a success or a failure. I think ARMS was along the sides of a failure. There's no questioning that. But guess what? That's an original IP. That's not on the Wii U. That wasn't a port. And just above this, you're talking about how Mario Kart 8 being resold and cannibalizing one of their biggest failures, which is the Wii U, and returning to it isn't good, but yet here we are, you're slamming one of their newest IPs. So yeah, what do these things have in common? Nintendo believes in its own vision. It is never afraid to bet on itself, and sometimes against itself, and sometimes on breakfast cereal that's a toy. Insert Amiibos cereal joke here, which is on eBay, by the way, for $35 if you guys want a box. Go ahead and look into that, fam. $35 cereal. I don't have buyer's remorse at all. I'm not mad. I'm mad. Anyways, the point of this whole article is that he makes at the end that Nintendo is competing with itself and that it fights against itself. And at the end of the day, it always comes out on top, which I can completely agree with at times, because Nintendo has always done its own thing. And these other companies, like the Xbox and the PlayStation side of things, where those companies are, even Steam to a degree, they don't do things that Nintendo does until they see Nintendo doing them and they're a success. So we have the Kinect, we have PlayStation Move. These were all things copied from Nintendo's motion control because they were popular, they were successful, and they worked. And this is why companies don't do what Nintendo does, because Nintendo has the ability to innovate. They have the money to innovate. They have the people, the minds. Shigeru Miyamoto, man. It drives me nuts when I see these headlines. These headlines that are just essentially clickbait to the maximum. Nintendo owned 2017 And all it took was a series of bad mistakes. I wouldn't call a single one of these things bad mistakes. I would say Nintendo is recognizing their failures, and they're coming back on them, and they're seeing their shortcomings in their previous console and saying, hey, look, you know what? You didn't buy this game, it's on the Switch. You didn't play this game, it's on the Switch. You didn't have a chance to play Pokken Tournament Deluxe, it's on the Switch. So don't even worry about it. You know, the Wii U, not the greatest console in the world, there's no questioning that. But here, we have the Nintendo Switch selling like hotcakes, and we have people crapping all over them and saying, oh, Nintendo plays against itself but comes out on top, and they're never afraid to be themselves. Then what's the point of this article? The point of this article was to rile up Nintendo fanboys, to rile up Nintendo fans, and to have people questioning things. At the end of the day, if you want a miniature PC, go buy yourself an Xbox One. If you want a more powerful miniature PC, go buy an Xbox One X. If you like PlayStation games, if you like Sony, go buy a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro. But if you would like a unique console experience that is geared towards having fun and playing games more than the online aspects, more than streaming services, more than watching Netflix on your frickin' Nintendo Switch, buy a Nintendo Switch! I took my blood pressure today. It was 144/70. They say I have stage 1 hypertension. I wonder why. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. I'm going to go see the doctor about my stress. I'm going to calm down. If you like this video, make sure to leave me a like. If you dislike this video, leave me a dislike. But don't you dare disrespect the shades. I will see you guys next time. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So, I've been your host, Protomario. I'm signing out. Good gaming. God bless. And thanks for watching.